What really happened in Paris until Taehyung's name suddenly became the world's #1 trending? Who would have thought his solo performance this time not only amazed thousands of pairs of eyes in attendance, but also left such a deep emotional imprint, even for Jungkook himself. That evening, the atmosphere on one of the most prestigious fashion stages in Paris turned into something more than just a show. When Taehyung stepped out, the whole room seemed to stop breathing. The glare of the lights reflected off his elegant black suit, while his thin smile seemed to hold an unspoken story. He doesn't just perform, he speaks through his gaze, his gestures, and every note that accompanies it. The audience was amazed. Many admitted goosebumps. "This is no ordinary Taehyung. There is something deeper," wrote one fan on X. The camera captures small moments from the way he looks down after the song ends to his slightly glassy-looking eyes. And behind the scenes, Jungkook reportedly watched live through HYBE's private broadcast. Jungkook's reaction immediately drew attention. He wrote briefly on Weverse, "I'm proud, but also somehow feel warm and sad at the same time." The sentence sparked thousands of speculations. Is Taehyung sending a hidden message through his appearance? Or does Jungkook recognize something that only the two of them know? Paris seems to be a silent witness to a moment that is difficult to forget. Fans around the world are talking about how Taehyung appears to be speaking through emotion, not words. Some have called it the most sincere form of honesty of an artist, an expression without a mask, which even makes Jungkook touched. Now, the video of the performance has been watched millions of times. Yet every time someone watches it again, they claim to feel a different way, a mixture of awe, emotion, and inexplicability, a little homesick. Perhaps because behind all the glitter of Paris that night, Taehyung not only conquered the stage, it conquers hearts, including the hearts of someone who was and probably still means. And it's true, something inside her that night felt different, not just the professionalism of a world artist, but the overflow of feelings that she had probably kept secret all this time. And yes, fans are sure that the smile is not just for the camera. The look on his face changed just before the smile appeared, said a fan who watched every second of the footage. It didn't take long for speculation to surface. Was Taehyung thinking about Jungkook? Jungkook himself, in short-lived the next day, had a little laugh when one of the fans mentioned Taehyung's performance. But then, he was silent for a few seconds. "I see. It's amazing," he said slowly. I know exactly how he felt that night. The words are simple, but electrifying, as if only they both understood its meaning. Since then, the Paris night moment has become a hot topic in fandom. ARMY called it Taehyung's most honest performance, while many were convinced that Jungkook was watching with a quivering heart. Between the cheers, the lights, and the glitz of the world's fashion cities, there is a small story that feels very human, about connections, pride, and emotions that cannot be hidden even thousands of kilometers apart. Now, whenever the name Paris is mentioned among BTS fans, it's no longer just about the city of love. Many suspect the message came from Jungkook shortly after the performance ended. One fanbase account translated the rumors circulating on Korean forums. Jungkook wrote, "I'm watching. You're amazing." Although there is no official confirmation yet, that moment is enough to make the fandom world shake. Fans feel as if they are witnessing two hearts that still understand each other even without words. Some even wrote, "Their love may change shape, but the connection is never lost." And amid a frenzy of speculation, Taehyung finally appeared on his own short live. He laughed a little when he saw the comments full of questions about Paris. "I'm just expressing what I feel," she said softly. "That night, I wanted to be honest." No names were mentioned, but the way he spoke made the atmosphere quiet in the comments. Thousands of soldiers wrote haru messages, feeling as if they understood without needing to be explained. Now, Paris's performance is not just a moment of art, but a small fragment of the emotional journey of two figures who grew up together, understood each other, and still give each other meaning without having to speak out loud. Meanwhile, Taehyung was also seen wearing a small silver necklace while attending the event afterwards. Fans quickly realized that the necklace was identical to the one Jungkook had worn months earlier in his personal vlog. Is that a coincidence? Maybe. But for the ARMY, such little things actually bring hope and nostalgia to life that cannot be explained by logic. And indeed, there is something that goes beyond mere group peer relationships. In their gazes, tone of voice, and the way they respond to each other at different times are tucked emotions that feel real, warm, deep, and hard to explain. Now, whenever anyone mentions the Paris moment, everyone knows it's not just about fashion shows, it's also about achievement. It was a moment where Taehyung stood with all sincerity and courage, and behind the scenes, there was someone silently watching, smiling, moved, and perhaps a little homesick. Paris was devastated that night. But perhaps it was Jungkook's heart that was really lost by the charm, by the memories, and by the feelings that never really went out. A few days later, Korean media began writing articles about Taehyung's emotional miracle performance. One famous journalist even said, "Not just a perfect performance, but the expression of a human being who is at peace with his heart." The sentence immediately went viral. ARMY knew there was something deeper behind all the highlights, something that even the cameras couldn't fully capture. When asked about what has inspired him lately, he paused for a while before quietly replying, "Sometimes inspiration comes from people who make you feel alive." The sentence is simple, but the fandom world instantly exploded. Later that night, Taehyung wrote something on Weverse, "Some things don't need to be explained." Quite felt. And with just that sentence, the mood of the fandom turned into a sea of emotions.